Yeah, what's up, everybody? This is Mr. Mike. This is the Trucker Diary series. I hope you guys are doing well out here. I'm driving, heading to Tampa. It's Wednesday morning. I don't know the date, August something. But I hope you guys are doing well out there. I'm just a guy driving a truck, talking shit. So before I get started, Duval and Jacksonville, has been impacted by our loss. And I actually, well, it's not about me. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna say I actually cried over this, amongst other things, over this passing of the great Paten Locke, aka DJ Therapy, the founder of many hip-hop groups, conglomerates, just a triple threat: DJ, MC, producer. He was great in all three of these things, and just a record, a vinyl head, one of the original hip-hop heads. He's out of Boston, but he made Jacksonville his home, and he just passed away. I believe it was August 2nd. In his home, he had stage 4 lung cancer, and I believe he was 40 years old. So rest in peace to my dear brother Paten Locke. Some very, very sad loss. You talk about underground force in music. I'm not just talking about hip hop. I'm talking about music. I mean, you can't really get any greater than this guy. Very passionate about music. Knowledge was incomparable. But rest in peace, brother. Rest in paradise. Rest in power. And your music will live. Your legacy will always live on. Thank you for your service. All this great talent, all these great musicians that came from you, that you've inspired or you helped create. Rest in peace, Paten Locke, DJ Therapy. Very, very sad. That guy. Every time I see him, like I've shared the stage with him, with FFJB and others, and every time he gripped the mic, every time he had the mic, you knew he was gonna come through. You knew he was gonna rip it. You knew he was gonna bring you his self, his soul, his energy to the microphone. Every time I see him, every single time I've seen him perform, every time he's an inspiration. He's a powerful force. I'm not just saying this because he just passed away. I've been saying it while he was here. I would tell him. The guy was just phenomenal. He was a phenomenal artist, phenomenal musician, and it's a void now in the community of musicians, the community of artists in Jacksonville. Any show that may go on from here on out, it's gonna be a void. It's gonna be something that's not there. You know what I mean? But his spirit will always carry on. He's still an inspiration to me. But I wish that I was closer to him. I wish I would have hung out with him, and because he was very very, very helpful. I remember one time he invited, he actually invited me to his house. He invited several people to his house just to, kind of, I just wanted to see his process, and I wanted to see his record, his vinyl collection. I wanted to see it. One day, it was years ago, I want to say 2015, 2016. I was leaving Tough Junkie's house, and I was heading over to his house, and then my car broke down on the way to his house. So I never got to see it. I never got to see his house. I never got to see, and I just never, took advantage of the opportunity to go visit him, after that, even when my life changed a little bit, because I was in, a different state or whatever. But I still to this day, haven't gotten a chance to visit him. And the thing is, it was one of those things that I was so insecure. I was I'm still self-conscious about who I am as an MC or as a hip-hop guy. And I always looked up to him. I always looked up to him because I know his accolades, most of his accolades. I know what he's accomplished in the industry, some of the record labels that he's been a part of, and some of the great artists that I've looked up to. He's worked with them in some form of way. You know what I'm saying? And so I really looked up to him as a fan. Because I kind of consider myself, a consumer of just underground hip hop. And he was one of those guys, and he was connected to all the other guys that I was feeling, who I was really a fan of. He worked with those guys in one shape or another. So I really, really looked up to him, and I always put myself in this thing to where I would think that I wasn't, of course I'm never going to be on his level, or I'm not, the cool people that could be cool enough to hang out with him, which is fucking retarded on my part. It's fucking stupid. But I thought of myself that way compared to him, and so because I knew how great. But the thing was, anytime that I could have approached him for mentorship, he definitely would open his hands, because he mentored so many people. You know what I'm saying? He mentored so many people. My life was, I was circumstantial. I'm still, surviving and things like that. So I had things to do. I had to take care of myself. You know what I mean? So my time was very limited. And so so when my car broke down, when I on my way to go see him, go to his house, it was kind of like, damn, I got to take care of this, and then, one thing after another, I have to take care of more shit, and so I never got to see him. But it was my fault to think of myself as this lower guy, and he's so up there, and it's just a privilege, and it still is. It would have been a privilege to go see him, or go to his house and get mentorship. But I thought of myself, I wasn't on that level to do that for some reason. I'm fucking I'm really bad with that. But it's not about me, you know what I mean? And I think, okay, I'm in traffic right now, I'm dealing with stuff. But I have no doubt, of course at this point, and it's, too late now or whatever, but he wouldn't have saw me as that. He wouldn't have saw me as this. He would have saw me, oh, hey, because he seen me perform. He seen me do my thing. He just he acknowledged me many a times on, performing and doing my set or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so if I would approach him as far as mentorship, as far as trying to understand the industry a little bit better, he would have been so open to feed me his knowledge. And I didn't do it. And he just helped me realize. He just helped me realize what it takes. You know what I'm saying? What it takes to be great, to push yourself to unknown greatness when it comes to your talent, your musicianship, the focus, like, you know what I mean? And I wasn't even, I'm not even one of the people that are the closest to him. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I've never like collaborated with him on a project or anything, but he would have been open to do that if I would have sort of stepped my game up to it. You know what I mean? And so like it's terrible. It's terrible that we have this we have this lost. You know what I mean? This in this human form. Such a beautiful guy, such a beautiful soul. Love his musicianship, I love his hip hop, I love his talent, I love what he has to say, I love his heart behind, his energy behind his artistry. And I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna forever miss him, and I'm going to continue to play his music. I remember I have several of his CDs, and I remember one it was one called The Shift Change, which basically he took a lot of songs that's been released on record labels and other songs released on full-length albums, and he made remixes and different changes, different arrangements of the, and I always loved it because it was the rawest sound. I remember when he released it, he was like, I wanted to make sure you guys know that I'm a triple threat, that I can do all these things and still be successful. You know what I mean? But The Shift Change, I listened to that album constantly because it sounded so raw and it sounded so him, and it really inspired me to not be so cookie cutter or whatever it is. Like it just challenged me. Like this was back when I was working on Beautiful Garbage. I would just listen to his The Shift Change constantly because the power in because I remember one of his beats. He sampled the score from Samurai Champloo, this anime, one of my like my favorite anime, like to this day. He sampled the score, like a piece of the score from one of the episodes of Samurai Champloo. And when I recognized it, I was like, yo, you can do so much with all of these things and all of this technology. And so if you go back to listen to, if you have the opportunity to listen to the Shift Change, put that in, please, and just listen to the rawness and the greatness of that brother. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he started many groups. You know, before I knew about hip hop in Jacksonville, I remember seeing the cover of the Folio Weekly, and it had the ABs on there, which before they were called Asimov, and but now they were called the ABs because of a situation, the controversy behind the Asimov name. So they had to change the name to the ABs, and that's when I saw them for the first time. I saw a cover of these guys, this local hip hop group in Jacksonville. I was like, yo, and I didn't know anybody. This was before I knew Junkie and Master Pill. Those were some of the guys that I first met when I sort of got into the hip hop industry, hip hop community in Jacksonville. I met Junkie, and shortly after I met Master Pill. But before that, I remember seeing these guys. I was like, who are these? And then later on, I remember going to the Summer in the City Music Festival. It was all hip hop. This was a long time ago. This was years ago. And I just remember just seeing the pulsation of hip hop there in Jacksonville. And I was like, yo, because before then, I was just performing in people's houses. I was opening up for Listener and all these things, but it's not, but I felt that there was something brewing here in hip hop in Jacksonville. And so knowing about the ABs and then seeing Paten Locke, seeing the ABs, seeing all these different groups before him that were inspired or produced by Paten Locke. I was blown away. So he started. He helped founded Asimov, which AKA the ABs. Started the Smile Rays. You know what I'm saying? Yes, the Smile Rays was just a beautiful group. Lady Daisy, Bat Sauce, and DJ Therapy, Paten Locke. He started, of course, the latest one was Stono Echo and Steam Mechanics. But he had the Asimov, the Smile Rays, Dumbtron, and several others. It was just, this dude knew his music. He knew what he had to do to make a living doing his music. He was always busy. I would randomly see him. I would go to a flea market on a random day, and I see him there, and he's just buying vinyls. He's just looking at vinyls. I see him randomly. He has a regular white t-shirt. He just out there. What's up, man? And he knew who I was. He was like, what up, Mike? And he's like, yeah, I'm just collecting these vinyls, man. Every time I get a chance, I'm out here. And that's the kind of person he was. Always thinking, always focused on making his music, making something great, something greater than himself. And that's the kind of brother he was, man. So this one hurts. This one really, really hurts. I know we've lost people in the past. R.I.P. to Felicia, R.I.P. to Chef Rock. These are great individuals in their own right. You know what I mean? I miss those people as well. But Paten Locke, this one hurts a lot, because this is somebody that I knew. Not like personally, like some of these other great people who are still living, but I knew of him. I knew him. I've seen him perform. I shook hands with him. I smoked weed with him. You know what I'm saying? He was just a beautiful person to hang around. I've had conversations with him. You know what I'm saying? We would have like a group conversation. I wouldn't do any of the talking, because I'm more of a listener when it comes to social settings and things. But I just love listening to him, what he has to say. You know what I mean? And just, he was always on point. He was always himself. He was always challenging people, and you know what I mean? And so I can't say enough about this guy. And this is just from me not really knowing him personally. I didn't, I never met his daughter. I never met his family. I didn't really, I knew of his wife, but I never really like talked with her or whatever. But I knew who she was, but I never met his daughter. I never met, his other family and things like that. But most people who were close to him did, and they knew about his family, and they knew, who he was. But even just from, I guess, the outside, being just a spectator, being just a fan, and being just a receiver of his music and his knowledge, he was just a great individual. And you can you can really know or get close to someone through their art, through their music. And I felt like every time I listened to him, I felt the purity in his voice, the seriousness in everything he did. He wasn't one of these guys who did it for the clout. He did it because of love. I mean, he did got some clout. He did have some buzz, but he didn't do it for that. He do it for the pure love of music and artistry, and that's who he was. So I can't say I can't. It's just such a huge loss, and I just hope you guys get a chance. I really hope you guys get a chance, if you haven't, to listen to him. Paten Locke, Planet Locke, Patenlocke, aka DJ Therapy. Just look him up, find him, find his music, and just listen to him. But yeah, we lost a great one. So R.I.P. Rest in power, rest in peace, rest in paradise, my dear brother Paten Locke. I I wish I was closer to you, but it ain't about me. You know what I'm saying? You are resting. You know, there's no more pain, no more struggle. You are indeed free. So thank you for your service as a human being. So that was tough. That was really tough. So on that note, I mean, this last few weeks, this last weekend in particular, has been very traumatic, very troubling. You know, in this country, in this way we live, this society. You know what I'm saying? I think people are really. I'm not gonna say people because sometimes I'm kind of disconnected with what's going on. I'm gonna get off of Facebook because fuck Facebook. And like fuck social media and all this stuff. And I know it's a tool to help you kind of get your stuff out there, but fuck it. I mean, we have enough stuff on the internet to, you know, you can circumnavigate Facebook and still, you know, be an impact to a certain degree. You know what I mean? But it's not about that. It's about the art. You know what I'm saying? I think nowadays we get so tied up in this bullshit. We get so tied up in social media and having our art being a part of that we miss out on who we are, on our artistry. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. It's I don't know, but this last week or so, especially this last weekend, has been terrible. We had 2 mass shootings within 24 hours of each other. Well, actually within 13 hours of each other in 2 different separate places. We had one in El Paso, Texas, at a Walmart, and then we had another one in Dayton, Ohio. I didn't read up on the details on the Dayton, Ohio one, but we had a total of 31 people die from gun violence, from mass shootings. 31 in the span of 13 hours in 2 different cities, 2 different states, 2 different regions of the country. And it's at this point where, I mean, we're beyond the point where we're just so fucking used to this. You know what I'm saying? We're used to this violence, and it's going to keep happening because it's a cycle. Thoughts and prayers. We blabber about gun control, gun violence. Nothing gets done. No bill gets passed. It's the same shit. And then tomorrow there's going to be another one. There's absolutely going to be another mass shooting. And we don't know where. It could be in your town. It could be right now where while I'm driving. I'm going through, I'm headed through Stark, Florida right now. I'm on 301. I'm heading down to Tampa. And this is one of those highways where it has, I'm going through these little small towns, and there's speed traps. So right now I'm going 35 miles an hour, and then there's traffic lights and stuff like that. This is just a slow part of the highway, and it'll, speed up, later on or whatever. But I'm just saying, mass shootings can happen anywhere. Like if I stop right now, I'm right beside a Shell gas station. And there's a CVS pharmacy right here. Like if I stop right now, stop my truck, find an area to park, and just to get in there to get some items or whatever, there could be a shooting there. You know what I'm saying? It could be anywhere, any part of the world, and more than likely in this country, more than likely in this, in this state. And I live in Florida. You know what I'm saying? I live in this truck, but I live in Florida. My routes are in Florida. More than likely, Florida is gonna, it's gonna be another mass shooting. You know what I'm saying? It could happen any fucking where. And I love what Trevor Noah says about these things. He's just he has a great take on all these issues. Because he's not from America. He's from the outside in. He's from South Africa. And I remember like the first year, he talked about his first year being on the Daily Show. He was like, yeah, I've been here a year. I've been here some time, and we've had X amount of mass shootings. We had like 20 of them since he came to the country and started and did the Daily Show from Jon Stewart. Took the Daily Show, and it was like he had these great takes, but the recent one, he's like in every other industry, whether there's cars and there's traffic, you know, there's a strenuous task as far as getting a license and getting a car and being able to drive, because the idea behind those things is to keep people safe from traffic accidents and incidents, and because you know, accidents happen every day, and I talk about it on this podcast. Just about, you know, making sure you guys safe out there, because I see wrecks happen every fucking day, every time I go to work, and I drive all the fucking time. And he says, you know, there's a process to if you want to drive, there's a process. You got to get your license, and if you want to get a car, you got to get insurance, you got to have all this registration, you got to do all these things just to drive. You have to be of age. There's a certain age you have to be to drive. And they did that with the idea of safety. We do that in the idea of safety. And he mentioned the same thing as far as airplane safety. You know, you know, the process of getting on an airplane. Since we had you know, kamikaze attacks or plane hijacking before the airline industry. You know, when people used to hijack airplanes all the time. They did them all the time, and so they took strenuous measures to make sure that shit doesn't happen. And we don't, you know, a lot of times we're trying, and he kept Trevor Noah kept mentioning we're trying. Everybody tries, even though it's strenuous and it's stressful trying to go through the airline thing. When you're trying to fly, you got to go through all the safety precautions. A lot of times it's embarrassing, but the idea behind it is safety. And we're trying to make it fucking better. But with guns, it's one of there's so much blowback or pushback when it comes to gun safety, because gun owners assume that the politicians are trying to take guns away. No, we're trying to make it safer for everyone. Guns, you know what I'm saying? You pull a trigger, someone dies essentially, or seriously injured. And the fact that there are more guns than people in this country. There's over 400 million guns. We only have 300 and some odd million people. There's more guns than people. We have a fucking serious problem. We have a serious problem. Any sort of pushback against or pushback with gun control and gun regulation, it's just we get to this stalemate, because the other side, the people who are gun owners and preaching gun rights and Second Amendment and all this shit, they're just assuming we're legislating to take guns away. Like, no, motherfucker, we're not doing that. We're just trying to make it safer, just like with car industry and airline industry. Like traveling, making sure you have your license to keep the roads safer a little bit. You know, as much as we're trying to make fucking shit safer. But when it comes to guns, it's all this fucking bullshit. Nothing gets solved. No, there's no legislation. There's no banning or nothing. No gun control. Anything. Nothing like that. So we blabber, we debate, blah blah blah, and nothing gets happened. Another shooting happens, and it's gonna be in your home and our hometown eventually. You know what I'm saying? And so, what the fuck is wrong with us? Like, what the fuck? Like, does it have to take one of our kids? I have a child. I have a 9-year-old boy. I mean, is it gonna take some of your children, some of our children to fucking get it? But the thing is, some of our people are getting it. Some of our family members have just got shot by a random fucking psycho at a fucking Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? A person can get a assault rifle and assault people with the rifle, and he did. Killed 30 some odd people, injured 20 something more. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, how many more deaths does it take? How much blood does it take to fucking get us to realize some shit? So, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know the answer. Damn, you ran the shit out of that red light. I really don't know. I don't know the answer. I'm not a politician. I don't own guns. I know people. My family has guns. My dad has. He's a hunter. You know what I'm saying? And I've been in the military. My older brother was in the Army. I was in the Navy. I have a youngest brother in the Air Force. But most of my family, they own guns here or there. You know what I'm saying? They have guns. And I understand. I'm not a gun guy because I have my own shit about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't but I'm shifting. You know what I'm saying? I'm not totally against owning a piece, especially, I'm out here on the truck and these motherfuckers out here are crazy. You know what I'm saying? So anybody can just pop off because we're so fucking... We're so traumatic. We have mental issues. Most of us are mentally unstable. Most of us have depression and anxiety and all sorts of different mental problems. So any point, somebody can just pop off. We as a collective are living in a state of trauma and depression and anger and anxiety. And we have a shitload of guns. You know what I'm saying? So I understand, like, if you want to own a gun to protect yourself, I recommend you do that. You know what I'm saying? And I think eventually I'm gonna get one, but I don't want to have those problems. To me, I think, to me owning a gun and having it with me, and you know what I'm saying, it just feels like I'm welcoming in a gun sort of environment or a gun situation. Like if I'm going around carrying a gun or I have a gun with me, I just feel, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, I never had a gun, so I can't really say. But the thing is, I've shot guns before. I know how to handle them, most of them. Well, some of them, not most of them, because there's so many fucking different variations. I know how to handle a few of them from just military service. I know how to handle a 9mm, which I haven't done since I was in the Navy. I know how to handle a 9mm Beretta. I've shot an M14, and I've shot a 12 gauge shotgun. I've shot, other guns when I was a child. When my dad took me out to the shooting range here and there, and I shot cans and stuff. I forgot the rifles that I had, but I've shot those, and I also shot a mounted 50 cal, machine gun. You know what I mean? So I've done those things. I know what it feels like to shoot a gun, but I don't necessarily like violence. I don't like guns. I don't like any of this shit. So I don't get one. And up to this point, I never dealt with the problem with guns. I never had a gun pointed at me or, someone robbing me, and I never had these things. It could be just a matter of time. I don't know. But I don't like them. I just don't like, because, I know how to handle them, but I don't want to, make a mistake with a gun, because a mistake having a gun could be deadly. And I know there's ways to conceal them and have them safe and all that. Even, it's just, I don't want those type of problems. Thinking about it, make sure it's safe. I don't want that. That's extra layers of stress to me. But I get a little towards the fence with it, because I don't know, man. It's fucking ridiculous the way we love guns, the way we can't. We're so in love with guns, we can't welcome in the conversation of gun control and gun management and licensing guns. We got all these motherfuckers who are inspired by fascism, that are inspired by Nazi shit, that are inspired by Trump and all this shit, you know what I mean? And all this talk with immigration. Donald Trump, and the Daily Show pointed this out, which I didn't fucking know. I knew Donald Trump has visited Panama City I think the last, I want to say 6 to 9 months. You know, he was in Panama City, because I remember my mom telling me, you know, Donald Trump is coming down here. You know what I'm saying? And he went to Panama City Beach. I'm not from the beach or whatever, but I know where it is. You know what I mean? But he was there, and he was talking about, he did his little fucking rally, and he was talking about immigration. He was talking about immigration. He was like, he said, what are we gonna do with all this, with these immigrants? Well, you know, we got all these immigrants coming from other countries doing all this bullshit. What are we gonna do with them? And somebody in the crowd yelled, shoot them. Somebody in the Trump rally's crowd yelled, shoot them. Shoot them. And you know what Trump did? After the guy said that, everybody just started yelling and applauding. And you know what Trump said? He said, well, we can't, he made some fucking like joking, like lighthearted fucking remark. He said, well, you can't get away with that anywhere else, but you can get away with it in the fucking panhandle. And he's talking about the panhandle of Florida. Some motherfucker yelled out, shoot them, in front of the president. And the president just said, oh, he made some sly fucking remark. That shit right there sends crazy signals to motherfuckers who are mentally unstable, who are inspired by Nazi rhetoric or any sort of right-wing conservative. I can't think of the fucking phrase everybody uses. But this motherfucker just said shoot them, and Donald Trump, this motherfucker said, didn't condemn him. He just said, well, you can get away with that anywhere else, but here in Panhandle, and everybody just started applauding. Everybody at his rally started applauding after a motherfucker said shoot them when it comes to immigration. That's the kind of shit we're dealing with, you know what I'm saying? People who are doing these shootings, these shooters out here, these fucking murderers and terrorists, are getting inspired by shit like this. The dude who shot all the people in El Paso, he's not even from El Paso. I believe he was from outside or in Dallas or outside of Dallas. Drove all the way to fucking El Paso. You know Texas is a fucking huge state. From Dallas or the area around Dallas to El Paso is not a fucking easy ride. It's not a quick ride. That takes hours to get over there. That's almost half the damn state. And half of Texas is a fucking state. And you know what I'm saying? So he drove all the way to fucking El Paso to target Latinos. You know, El Paso is the state full of Mexicans, full of indigenous people, full of, you know, brown people, full of, I'm trying not to use the word Hispanic. You know, I'm learning about that particular term. You know, and that's almost a derogatory term, but I'm getting more information about that. I'm not sure, but I don't want to keep using that because I do use that before, but it's just my own ignorance. But this motherfucker drove all the way to El Paso to target a certain group of people. So it's a definite hate crime. No doubt, it's a hate crime. Drove all the way over there to target a certain group of people and killed 30 people, killed 31 people. That's what we're dealing with, and he's inspired by rallies like this. And it's not, and I want to just throw the blame at people like Trump, because that establishment has been way before Trump was in office, way before him. Trump is basically the representation. He's the one who says who he is. Other politicians, other Republican presidents, or other presidents in general, hide behind his shit, hide behind their masks. But Trump, he's telling you who he is. That's the only difference. That's the only fucking difference. He's telling you who he is. He's upfront. He's transparent. That's the only thing. You know what I'm saying? And since he's doing that, he's enabling all these people to come out the woodworks and get inspired by his messages. Yeah, immigration, brown people are the problem. We need to get rid of them. We need to, you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna happen again. It's fucking going to happen again and again and again. It's gonna keep fucking happening. Because we don't want to budge when it comes to guns. There are millions and billions of guns being created right now. It's like, there's you know, they have these little gun shows. And I've never been to an actual gun show, but I've seen them around town. There's no fucking like protocol or a way to become licensed to be a gun owner. You just go to a gun show. You got cash, you get a stash of guns. And there's no fucking legislation, there's no protocol, there's no steps to take to get the shit. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But at the same time, we have a gun problem because we have so many different types of people in this country. Because we keep talking about how other countries don't have this problem. Well, other countries don't have a melting pot like we have. You know, places like China, places like Japan. China is full of Chinese people. There's no other people other than Chinese. Japanese is full of Japanese people. There's people there for tourists like Tokyo. There's all kinds of people there, you know, but it's mostly Japanese people. You know, and in this country, white people are the majority, but at the same time, that is changing because we have a melting pot, and the melting pot is melting the white people in a sense. So we have resistance on that front, and so that resistance engages more consumption of guns, because since this country as a whole is changing colors to a degree, you know, there are some forces out there who are trying to stop that from happening. You know what I'm saying? And so if you have that, you have crazy radical inspired by neo-Nazi or inspired by conservatives or inspired by nationalists. That was the term I was looking for, nationalists. They're going to, if you have a shitload of guns to people who have these sort of ideas and they're willing and able to exercise them, it's a fucking problem. We have mental illness, we have mental trauma, we have PTSD, we have all this shit, all this stress, and we have all this access to guns. Of course, this is going to happen. So I don't know, man. I really don't fucking know. We have a fucking problem, and it's gonna keep happening, and there's gonna be more bloodshed, more tears, more anxiety, more depression because of people losing lives off of bullshit. People in Walmart. I mean, it's the time where people are going to Walmart in bulk because school is around the corner. You know, school is about to start back up again. And so people are buying, you know, people are getting half off or whatever, tax free and shit like that. And I'm tired of talking about this because I'm running out of words to say. But this is a fucking ridiculous time. It is. And I just don't know what to say. I really don't. I don't. But as a man, a full-grown 36-year-old man, this shit brought me to tears, man. I cried. I was with my girl, laying down, and I cried. I just cried. I couldn't hold back. I mean, I cried for a lot of things. Mostly from the passing of my brother, Paten Locke. But the passing of Paten Locke, it was in the midst of all this other external bullshit. Like that. And then, you know, me being personal. Like, just trying to figure out a way to live and not survive, you know, and all this chaos that is going on. I'm worried about I just saw my son Sunday, thank God. I haven't seen him in a while. I got to spend time with him. I love him dearly. I'm gonna take him bowling this weekend. But just thinking about that, how I'm trying to see the world through his eyes, and you know, the experiences. You know what I'm saying? And so my heart was heavy. And so all the shit that's going on, people dying needlessly, and the passing of one of our great heroes in the hip hop community, in the hip hop world, I cried. I cried. And it's good to cry. It's good to cleanse that. It's good to get that out. But I just couldn't hold back. It was just, we're living in a fucking terrible time, and we just need to figure something out. We need to work out these problems, like, now. So but anyways, most people are talking about these fucking debates, these presidential debates. Debates are a fucking joke. It's a fucking show. All of it. It's a show. Why would you have a group of people with ideas to help, people, help the country, with ideas to help people, to help strengthen the economy, healthcare, all these other issues that they talk about? Why the fuck would you have a group of people debate? And what goes on in a debate? All these candidates talk over each other. They have 12 to 15 second sound bites, and that's all it is. Nothing really there's no real conversation about any of this shit. They bring up things and they constantly attack each other from the shit that they've done that was taboo or bad. That's all they fucking do. Why would you have a group of people who have great ideas to change the country, change legislation for the purpose of making lives better in this country? Why would you have them sit there and bicker at each other from their personal things that they've done? Why? Why would you do that? Instead of just talking about the fucking ideas and having a conversation with the ideas, even if you don't win, like, the ideas are stronger than you, and stronger than being the president, because the idea, we as human beings live through, the ideas are filtered through us, like the policies that have been passed down, the legislations that have passed down, the rules and the laws, the ideas are all filtered through us, the way we live. So your ideas are going to pass through. It's more important than your president, who you are. You know what I'm saying? And so, because you can have great ideas, but you can be a bad person. Okay, whatever. You can have ideas and you can get the president, and somehow you kick rocks. You can die. You know what I'm saying? But your ideas can prevail. Somebody's going to take the idea and be like, okay, this is idea. Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? So your ideas are more, you know what I'm saying? And so why the fuck, when you have a debate, well, all they do is attack each other? Why would you have that? why do we keep doing this? Why do we keep tuning into this bullshit? Like, why? Why can't we just talk about the ideas and get some sort of consensus to say, hey, if I don't win, please use this idea because I think it's very good and it can help. And the other person who would win would be like, yeah, I agree with that. Why the fuck can't we do this? I mean, I know why, but why are we tuning in? That's what I'm saying. Why are we tuning into this bullshit? Why are we stuck in this competitive nature? This ain't fucking sports. It's not sports. Sports is entertaining. Sports, you see physical attributes from the individuals and they're playing a game, and that game is entertaining. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to watch somebody at the peak of their athletic ability to do things that we, normal people like us can't do, which is cool. But debates, they're just talking heads. And you might as well fucking watch Jerry Springer if you're gonna watch the fucking debates. Because that's all it is people talking over each other. Trying to put someone's dirt on display and embarrass someone from their past or whatever, bringing their shit back to the light. That's all it is. Why the fuck are we paying attention to that? And these are people who are going to be running the country essentially. And they're talking about this. They're talking about what Biden did, several years ago, or what Kamala Harris did, and they're using that as clout to be like, no, you're not qualified. So fuck your ideas. Why are we paying attention to that? And I be trying to like mention it. I be trying to say it because people they get so high. Oh, the debates are on. Like, why the fuck are we doing this, man? I don't know. I'm just. We have turmoil. We have fucking trauma, and we're talking about someone's past. Like, what the fuck are we doing? I don't know, man. So it's damn, fucking damn. This is some bullshit. We need to get our fucking heads out of our asses collectively, people. So, but anyways, do what you do. I mean, it all starts with self. Change, revolution starts with yourself. Starts with self. That's why I do things. I try to mention things about healthy living, healthy eating. Putting things in your mouth that is healthy. And I'm terrible at it. But I mean, I do it, but then I fall. Then I backslide. Then I give in to my addictions. I have an addictive personality. But that is what it is, man. It starts with the self. So that's all I got to say, man. That's really what, it's just a terrible time. It really is. It's a fucking uncertain time we live in. We're going to see more trauma. We're going to see more deaths, more needless deaths, more murders, more chaos. You know what I'm saying? More terrorism. We're going to see it more. We're going to witness it more. We're going to see it firsthand, most likely. We gotta do better. I have to do better. And I look in the mirror, I gotta do fucking better. That's what I gotta do. It is what it is. So, but this is not the most chipper. It's not the chippiest episode I've done. This is, not a lot of lightheartedness in this episode. This is something that is heavy on my heart. You know what I'm saying? And we're living in turmoil, and we're almost numb to turmoil. I think we are done to turn wrong. Because it's going to keep happening. We're just going to turn a blind eye, thoughts and prayers, and keep it moving. Keep scrolling down in fucking Facebook. That's what we're doing. That's exactly what we're doing. So, I don't know what to say. God bless us. God bless you all. God bless the world. The entire world. Jesus loves the little children. Red and yellow, black and white. They are precious in his sight, and that's everybody. I love when I recently watched the I keep mentioning this, Cornel West, beautiful brother. I love his words, his impact with his words, his inspiration behind his voice. He was on Joe Rogan. He was just talking about, even in the black community. No, I'm sorry. He wasn't. I saw him on Joe Rogan, but I actually saw him at the Commonwealth Club. I think it was in San Francisco, California. He was a guest speaker there. Very powerful. I'm gonna get his book, Race Matters. I'm gonna get it because I'm gonna get his book. But he was talking about, especially in the black community. Talking about the movement, talking about being a force to change. And the host that he was speaking to, I forgot her name, she was asking, how does, especially in the black community, how do we sort of get over or come to terms with this stigma behind homosexuality in the black community? Because when it comes to trying to have grassroots movement and become a force for change, using the force of love and all these things in the black community, black people sort of look down upon homosexuality, gay people. And I love what Cornel West said, and I'm paraphrasing. I highly recommend you guys see these things. Go and stop being on Facebook. And if you're gonna watch something, watch people who have something to fucking say that can move you to change, inspire you to be a force. You know what I'm saying? Listen to these people. So, but what Cornel West said, he just said, that's something we have to recognize. But that's something, the song says lift every voice, not lift every straight voice, but lift every voice. So everybody matters. Even if you're gay, even if we don't agree on certain things, we have a task at hand to be a force for love and peace and change and revolution. And we can't be bickering about our personal sexuality, our choice, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever that is. If a gay person wants to be a force for change, let that gay person be a force, or anybody. It doesn't matter. Lift every voice. And I love the way he said it. So these personal things that we have against each other, we're behind, basically. We should be beyond that. We shouldn't be bickering over people because they're gay, because of their sexual preferences, when they could be a force useful for change. What the fuck is wrong with us, man? So, but that's what it is, man. I just want to leave it on that note. You know what I'm saying? Go check out Cornel West. Go check out his speeches, his conferences. Any sort of thing that he's speaking about. Just listen to him. Buy his book and support people who are trying to do these things. You know what I'm saying? Put your money where your mouth is. I'm out here. I'm a truck driver. Any sort of fund raising thing, anything that I support, the least I can do, I just put money in there. I just put money out there because I have this thing about money. I have, money. If I can help someone by pushing a fucking button, and I have the resources and I'm able to do that, I'm gonna do that. If I have enough of course, I gotta maintain myself. I gotta make sure I have enough money to, maintain myself and maintain my life and maintain, my child support, maintain my child, make sure he has a good, way of living. You know what I'm saying? But if I have, a certain amount, a certain abundance of something, and all I have to do is push a fucking button, we have a way now. Like on my phone, I'm recording this podcast on my phone right now. You know what I'm saying? And so with that same technology, I can push a button with PayPal and Cash App and all these other things. I can push a fucking button and give money and help people in the time of, they need help with something. You know what I'm saying? I can do that. And if I have the ability to do that, I'm going to do that. And that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? So like, because I'm here today, going tomorrow, because I'm a truck driver. You know what I'm saying? So this is like the least that I can do, but that least can be someone's power. That money that I put into different causes, different organizations, for a grassroots movement or something like that, something that I believe in that's going to be helpful, it's the least that I can do. But that least is empowering to some organization that I fund. Like, use that. Do whatever you fucking can. And I know I can do more. I can do more. I'm not old. I'm not like, I'm not atrophied. I'm not at the age where, I got problems with my body and shit like that. I'm just a truck driver right now. And this is going to change and all this stuff, but this is what I have. But this, money is if it's a tool to help, I'm going to fucking use it to help people. I'm going to make sure I'm good. I make sure I got food and make sure I'm taken care of. But I'm going to help people. That's what I'm going to do. If I have money or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be a force to help. So, but that's all I gotta say, guys. Do whatever you can. Pay attention. Wake up. So, but anyways, this is the Trucker Diary series. This is Mr. Mike. If you're out there listening, I really appreciate it. If it's just one of you, thanks, Jason. Thanks, Paul, or whoever you are. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for just tuning in. This is the Trucker Diary series. This is Mr. Mike. I love you. Peace.